Again, my sister crossed her boundary, but this time I almost lost my patience with her because she came to my house as a guest yesterday. But today she is telling me to move out from my house to have fun with her boyfriend, and in this video this is what I am going to explain this in detail. My 26-year female sister, who I call Emily, moved in with her husband, 29-year male, who I will call Roger, 2 years back. Emily and I were never very close, but we were family nonetheless. Recently, they decided to get their house renovated, and because it's been quite disastrous at their place, they asked if they could move in with me last week. I was little shocked because we have not spoken in a while, but I said it would be fine with me. Emily wanted to have a talk. She asked if her and Roger could have the place to themselves on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. I asked where she thinks I can go. Her response, I don't know, get a motel. She continued to tell me how I can afford a couple days in a motel and it won't kill me. She told me it's nothing against me, it's just that they have their own traditions and like to spend the holiday together. They chose to get their house renovated during this time, knowing it would be interfere with their Christmas traditions. So I asked them to leave. I can't put my life on hold and move out because they want to spend the holiday with each other. They won't be homeless. My parents took them in, but they called me absolutely infuriated because I refused to let them stay and would not let them enjoy the holiday after all the trouble they went through with the renovations. Before seeing the update from the OP, and this is my opinion. It seems like your sister Emily is not respecting your boundaries and is asking for something unreasonable. While it's understandable that she and her husband want to spend Christmas together, it's not fair to ask you to move out of your own house. You have every right to set boundaries and protect your needs and desires, especially in your home. You should communicate clearly to your sister that you cannot accommodate her request and explain why. It's important to stand firm in your decision and not let her guilt or pressure you into changing your mind. It's good to hear that your parents have taken them in, so they won't be homeless. You have done the right thing by standing up for yourself, and your sister needs to respect your decision. It's important to remember that you deserve to be treated with respect and consideration, especially in your home. The top advices from the community for this issue is: Opinion 1. If they wanted privacy for Christmas, they could have done or planned better. Done what they have expected you to do and gotten a motel room themselves. It's just weird that they wanted you to leave your own house, and more so that they didn't even offer to pay for you to get a room somewhere and cover your meals while they stayed at your house. This is some serious entitlement on their part. The second opinion is, you did them a massive favor and they replied by requesting you to spend your own money to get a motel. If anybody should be staying in a motel, it should be the people that decided to renovate their house. Opinion 3. You are in the right, it's your house, and just because they want to do their traditions, which I'm guessing is something along with the lines of 50 Shades of Christmas, doesn't mean you should have to leave your home to accommodate them. The next update from the OP regarding this issue is, it has been a few months since my last post and a lot has changed. After Christmas, my sister called me to apologize for what she had said. She told me she had been dealing with a lot of issues at that time and she didn't mean what she said. I felt very sorry for her, I really did, so I told her all was okay and that she and Roger were forgiven. Fast forward a month and Emily and Roger are getting separated. I don't know about their business, but I know that financial problems were a big part of it. She had asked to stay with me again and I feel very sorry for her. So I said okay. The first day she came to stay with me was great. We got along well, ordered takeout and watched a movie together, something we have not done since we were very young. Keep in mind that my house has three bedrooms, one belongs to me, one is a guest bedroom, and one is just a pretty much empty room. I decided to furnish the smaller guest room instead of the bigger one, as I keep my violin and other instruments in there. She was staying in my guest bedroom, a very small place with just a bed and a nightstand. This was a downgrade from her living space, but she didn't seem to mind. About 2 nights after she came, she asked if there was any way that she can switch the rooms. Keep in mind that I had no idea how long she was planning on staying, so I didn't think it was a big deal. The room has a comfortable bed and a nightstand with some drawers. It's not permanent, so I told her no. This was when the bigger problem started. She began to leave her dirty clothes and dishes all over the floor, and she had stained a quilt that a close friend of mine had made for me with food. I asked her to please keep my room steady, and she started to break down crying. She told me she was feeling very down and that she is sorry. I understand this sort of thing, but I still asked her to keep tidy as she was living here for free. She kept doing it. However, I asked her to leave again to stay with my parents. I know this was the worst move, but the room was dirty and smelled disgusting. A few of my friends say I'm too harsh with her, but I had really tried to get along with her, but we just don't work. She didn't give my parents her stove story this time, though, and so there were no more fights with my parents. Fast forward again to last week, my sister gives me a call and apologizes. She told me that she knows we can never be friends, but she hopes that we can be civil. I said, absolutely. And my final opinion about this story is, it seems like you have been put in a difficult situation with your sister. On one hand, you want to help her out during a tough time, but on the other hand, she has repeatedly crossed your boundaries and disrespected your living space. It is understandable that you were initially willing to let her stay with you, but it's also reasonable to expect her to keep your home clean and tidy. Especially since you were letting her to stay here for free, it sounds like you tried to communicate your concerns to her in a kind and respectful way. But she didn't listen or follow through on your request. As for asking her to leave, it's understandable that you would want to maintain a clean and comfortable living space. It's important to prioritize your own well-being and boundaries, even if that means asking family members to leave your home. It's good that your sister has apologized and acknowledged the issues in your relationship. It's up to you to decide if you want to continue to have a relationship with her and under what terms. It's okay to set boundaries and prioritize your own well-being in your relationships with family members.